Welcome to the source.
Just hit start, please.
The source.
Oh.
Source. Hey, get the source.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday to you all. Hope you all had a better Tuesday night than I did. 0-2 in college football. The Akron game I had right, too. Akron minus the points. Akron team total over. Didn't bet either. The two I did bet lost. So I went 0-2 in college football. And the only NBA bet I placed was Celtics minus 5.5. And it looked good for most of the game. They faded at the end.
Should have played first half.
Oh, should I have played first half, Matt, you think?
Yeah.
Oh.
You should have played the bet that won.
I should have played first half, says Matt. I don't have a single bet open tonight. Tonight sucks. So if you're looking for a night to not watch, click the X, man. Tonight's bad. We're going to go through it, though. Pelicans, Cavs in Cleveland. It's down to 14 now. Did you guys see the injury report for this shit?
Yeah, everyone's playing, right?
Yeah, it's a real loaded. I think if you were to rank the Pelicans roster in order of most important to least important, 1 through 8 are out.
Yeah, I don't even know who you like. Brandon Boston.
Yeah, I mean, I
it's essentially. I was looking at it earlier, Kyle. It's essentially their starting lineup in their this is a play their whole entire playoff rotation is out.
Exactly.
Like that. I think that's the easiest way. Like their top 2-3 guys off the bench are also out. So can't go near them with a 10-foot pole. But
and now
also,
Misi's been added as well. So
it's questionable. Yeah,
it might be the most 9 important players on the Pelicans roster out. 9.
Will they even have enough to compete? Like they might have like a 7 or 8 man rotation. I skipped over the game for that reason. I saw Cleveland also had some guys on the injury report, but
Garland's out.
Yeah, I'm not going near anything in this game. You couldn't pay me to.
Yeah,
I did have a system that said when two teams are playing unrested and the total is below 225, I think it's 65% to the over. How can you take that when the Pelicans haven't scored 90 points in the last 8 games on the road? I'm not touching that either.
I'm good. Let's just move on to the next one. Jay Brake says, I'm just here to tell Kyle I'm fading the Knicks. It's a losing proposition, man. You might want to hop off that train now. Knicks are starting to feel it. Although I didn't bet them tonight. Next up is what? What's it? Bulls
Bucks.
Chris, anything here?
Nah, the Bulls took my money the other day when I tried to fade them against the Detroit Pistons. You do get a revenge buy here from Milwaukee. They lost, I think it was their first home game against the Chicago Bulls, and I guess you could say that they're playing a little bit better, but are they really? They had to come back and win against Houston, didn't even get a cover in that game. They only 4-9-1 against the number. But what Chicago teams shows up, Kyle. We talked about this. Chicago is all the way up here or either all the way down here. So I didn't bet the game. I can see them keeping it close. I think they are 4-1 ATS last 5 games in Milwaukee. This is a divisional game outside of it being a conference game. So if I had to play it, I guess I would probably take the points with Chicago. But if they're not hitting threes, nobody's stopping Giannis. I know that. So, I mean, it's a lot, they're not the greatest rebounding team. So I stayed off of this one, but I'd be catching the points with Chicago, thinking that the Bucks win. Probably won't be by double digits here.
I've taken 2 losses this year, taking the Bulls in similar spots, taking plus a big number with the Bulls. And both times my cover got blown in the fourth quarter. It's happened twice to me already. So you could put Bulls up for me too, but I'm not going to actually bet it because the Bulls could be competitive for 3.5 quarters and still lose by double digits. We've seen it, and it's happened personally to me twice already. So I think the Bulls could win this game, but I'm not. I'm good. Bulls are pass.
Yeah, there are a lot of props in this one. 2 teams that are really easy to target with specific matchups. There's probably 4 that I could have taken. I only went with 1, so the other 3 are definitely going to hit because that's how it goes. But the play is Damian Lillard over 7.5 assists. It was +1. I got it at +120, and then it was +115 earlier. I meant to pull it up. Let me just make sure that those odds are still, still +115. I mean, FanDuel Bet365, basically anywhere. I mean, it's point guard assist props against the Bulls. It's been a system play all year. A ton of metrics supporting that. Number one, the Bulls have the worst defensive net rating in the NBA over the last 10 games. And they also play at the fastest pace in the NBA in the last 10 games. That's part of the reason why they're such a juicy prop team, is because there's just so much stat accumulation in Bulls games. Because when you have a horrible defense and you play fast, that's what leads to, like I said, just a ton of stat accumulation. They also allow the most assists per game specifically to point guards. And they're also the best matchup for point guard assist props as well, per props.cash. And Damian Lillard, he's not having the best year from an assist perspective. And he's missed some time, but he's only gone over this number in 3 of 10 games. But he's consistently gotten pretty close. Like 3 separate times he got the hook, reached exactly 7 assists. And twice this season he recorded 16 potential assists and didn't get to 8 actual assists. So like there's a low conversion rate from his potential assist to actual assist ratio, which is going to normalize. And we've seen this exact matchup earlier this year. Damian Lillard had 8 assists. More importantly, 19 potential assists, the most potential he's had in a game this entire season in terms of potential assists. I don't think it's a terrible play. You want to take him double, ladder him up to 10 plus. I don't think that's bad. For me, I'm in a cold streak. I just need to see one go through the hoop. So I'm playing it safe with the over 7.5, and I'm still getting it for plus money. So it's not like I'm playing a terrible price or anything. But yeah, I mean, I love this play on Dame assists.
You love this play. Loves it.
Sure.
All right, let's move on to the next game. Indiana, Houston. I wanted to bet the Pacers here. I think they're live. Houston's been turning up the pace. That's the game the Pacers want to play. I know that the Rockets have been better, which is why they're laying the points in this spot. It's all these question marks. Now it's obviously Miles Turner. Is he still questionable, right?
Yep.
If Miles Turner but Jalen Green is also questionable on the Houston side. If Miles Turner plays, I wouldn't be opposed to taking the plus 6.5 with Indiana here. Or maybe a Pacers team total over. The team total it's 231. That means the team total, some quick math, probably going to be,
I think it's 113.
Well, yeah, 112.5, 113, somewhere in there. So a Pacers team total over is the way I would want to go here. Chris?
Go ahead, Morai.
Oh, Morai.
Yeah, I have a play in this one as well. It's Apparan Şengün over 22.5 points. You can currently get that at plus 100. Odds at FanDuel, plus 100 is what I got it at. It moved a little bit, now back up to plus 100. I mean, the Pacers defense is kind of similar to the Bulls in a defense that you want to target. They're not as bad. They're a 24th defensive net rating over the last 10 games, and they don't play quite as fast, the 12th fastest pace. I mean, not nearly as fast as last year, but the Rockets do speed up the game, 6th fastest pace in the NBA. So I like it when both teams play at an above average pace, especially one team that's top 6. And Şengün, it's a perfect kind of buy low spot because he's missed this in his last 4 games, but the 2 games prior to that, he scored 27 points in back-to-back games. And he's the type of guy for me that you want to target him in specific matchups. This is definitely one of them. Great matchup for big men like Şengün, great matchup specifically for his scoring type. The Pacers, they're like middle of the pack in terms of possessions guarding the pick and roll man. However, NBA.com defines it. They're middle of the pack, slightly below average in terms of just number of possessions per game. But they allow the 7th most points per game to the pick and roll man, and that's because they allow the 5th highest points per possession. So when teams are doing it, they're having success. And the Rockets run a ton of pick and roll. Şengün runs the 5th most possessions as a pick and roll man, and he scores the 8th most points per game as a pick and roll man. That's how he scores the highest frequency of his points in terms of play type. Number 2 is at the free throw line. Scores the 2nd most points at the free throw line. Pacers allow the 5th most free throw attempts against them per game. They foul at like the 6th highest rate in the NBA. Again, 5th most free throws attempted against them. And just overall, if you want to take a step back on the area of the floor where the Pacers defense is weakest, is the restricted area. They allow the 6th most made field goals in the restricted area. That's where Şengün scores over half his points. And just look at big men against the Pacers. Jakob Poeltl last time out hung 30 on them. Before that, Bam went over in 2 games in a row. Before that, Gogo Batadze went over in 2 games in a row against the Pacers. They're just terrible at guarding the big man, terrible at guarding the restricted area. So I'll gladly take Şengün over 22.5 points for plus 100.
Someone said, again, don't pick what you like. Pick what makes sense. Who's going to guard Giannis and Dame? There's no defense. Well, the Bulls went into Milwaukee and beat the Bucks by double digits early this season with Giannis and Dame on the floor. Chris, go ahead.
Man, what if you just pick what made sense and it always happened? Man, boy, I'd be a millionaire. I wouldn't be doing shows with Cal.
Nothing that doesn't make sense has ever happened in sports before.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not which team has the better 2K ratings.
yeah, that's exactly what it is, Cal. Remember yesterday I talked about how bad Denver offense was without Jokic, and they went out and put 120 on Memphis last night.
Yep.
But yeah, back to this game, y'all. I actually disagree with you. I think it's the line's pretty telling at 6.5. I didn't bet it just because I do want to see what happens with Miles Turner, like you said. I do want to see what happens with Jalen Green. He got a little tummy ache today, so we'll see if he ends up playing or not. But this was a spot that I thought that Houston, this line was at 5.5, and this is not a great spot for either team. Both teams, third game in 4 nights. Both teams, fourth game in 6 nights. Pacers also got the Bucks coming up, and the Rockets have been good, Cal. 10-5 straight up, 10-5 against the spread. They're coming off that 1-point loss by Dame the other night in Milwaukee. And I think that the line is pretty telling. Like I said, the Pacers have actually beaten the Rockets 9 straight times. Wow. And now all of a sudden they're a 6.5-point dog. I think they probably win this game by double digits. Miles Turner not being there, I think he's going to be out for an extended period of time, which is why they signed with Moses Brown. Is that his name? Yeah, Moses Brown. From the Clippers.
Their backups both got hurt.
Yeah, both of their backups are hurt. Like they're without Andre Jackson, no James Wiseman. We just saw Toronto hit them for 130 the other day, Cal. I told you I was an over spot. I didn't bet it, so don't give me too much credit. But I mean, if you can't stop Toronto, I think Houston should be able to score the ball as well. And defensively, they've held 11 of their 14 opponents under their team total. You look at the Pacers' offense on the road, Cal. Tyrese Halliburton has been absolutely day and night. They're only averaging 109 points on the road. I think their team total under 113.5 is the best play on the board.
All right, so Rockets there. Next up, Portland, Oklahoma City. Should have bet the Spurs last night. Didn't. They won outright. You knew the lack of size was eventually going to catch up to Oklahoma City. You can't go and win 60 games in the NBA regular season with no center. You just can't do it. You can't win 60 games with Lou Dort, 6'5", as your starting center. Now they're good as hell. They play great defense on the perimeter. They're good as hell to still win some games, but eventually that was going to catch up. That being said, I don't know. I mean, is Ayton's out for Portland, right?
He's out.
Yeah, but he's been out though, Cal. He's been out for
no, I know, but wasn't there a chance he was going to play?
Yeah, I think he was
technically
doubtful.
He's doubtful, but yeah, so he's not going to play.
Yeah, it's there's a D next to his name now, doubtful. So I don't know. I would only go Portland. I think Oklahoma City laying these huge numbers without a center is kind of crazy, but Portland sucks. So I'm not.
Whoa, Cal. Portland got called out by Chauncey after losing by 120 points to the Memphis Grizzlies.
Oh, never mind. Portland's going to the playoffs then. Oh, he called him out? Oh, my bad. I didn't realize Chauncey called him out. Let me lay 10 with Portland.
Hey, not lay 10, but if you could have grabbed plus 14.5, I think that was a good number last night with the rest advantage here. They since they got called out, they beat the Timberwolves twice, which you called one of those. You said, I'm not laying points with the Timberwolves, even if it is a revenge game. So back-to-back wins against the Minnesota Timberwolves, and then they did fall down to Atlanta in the last game, but they ended up coming back and winning that game outright. So 3-0 straight up, 3-0 against the spread, Cal, to my point about Chauncey calling them out. So, I mean, they've been owned by this team as well. I think they've lost like 9 of the last 10 games against OKC. It's only them plus the points here, especially with, Houston having to travel. And I'm not especially with Oklahoma City having to travel back home and having no rest. I know they'd be probably motivated in this spot, but are you really going to get up for Portland? Like, I think Portland will continue to play hard. I would be taking the points, and I'm somebody that typically likes to lay with OKC. I'm not laying in this spot.
Yeah, I mean, if Oklahoma City didn't lose back-to-back games, maybe I'd bet this. But you said they're not going to get up for Portland. Well, after back-to-back losses, they might. I don't know. I see Modi.
They still don't got a center, Cal.
No, they don't. I mean,
Portland has a lot of rim protection.
Are we expecting Klingon? I mean, I guess Modi is, because I see a graphic up here.
Yeah, I mean, Zach Collins would have hit this yesterday. I gave out the only 2 props that he did not hit, which was his PRA and him getting to 4+ assists. He hooked on both of those numbers. But it's a rebounds assist play against the Thunder. They gave up the 5th most rebounds per game to centers. They gave up the 2nd most assists per game to centers. Zach Collins just cashed this last night. And Klingon 2 games ago played over 30 minutes. That's probably an outlier, probably going to play closer to like 25. They don't have props out for Time Lord. I'm guessing they're just waiting for that. But the Pacers, the Thunder defensive strategy is to be super aggressive guarding the pick and roll. Like, they allow the fewest points per game, both to the pick and roll ball handler and the pick and roll man, which is crazy. And it's just because they crash down on anybody that's driving to the paint, whether it's the big man that has the ball on the roll or the guy that's actually handling the ball, like driving to the hoop. They give up the second most points per game to spot up shooters and the second most points per game via putbacks, so offensive rebounds, which would obviously help Donovan Clingan. And then, that's why the assists are play, because of like they just blitz whoever has the ball in the paint. So you just kick it out to a shooter. Klingon's not going to wow you with his assist numbers. We just basically need him to get one and then him to like at least meet whatever his rebound prop is. I just like having both against the Thunder. So I took both. It's -115. And that is offered at Bet365.
All right, let's move on to the next one. What's next? Philly? Is it time for Philly to win?
No.
Moda, you've completely given up on your guys, huh?
Yeah, I mean,
well,
I was with them.
can I point out an observation? All of the Philadelphia apparel behind you has been replaced with Super Mario apparel.
No, there's some. Well, I guess you can't see. It's it's because it's because the camera.
Because you've given up. It's all right.
No, what you see is my voice is cracked because you're making me all flustered.
Oh Christ!
So what you see on the camera is because of it's the more zoomed in view. I still got. I mean, if you want, I'll gladly put on my big hat if you want me to.
Only if you're laying the floor with the Sixers. If you're not, take the hat off. You don't deserve to wear it.
Well, this is an Eagles hat. This is not a Sixers.
No,
hat.
I know, but you're repping the city.
No, I'm repping. No, I do. No, so the Sixers.
no.
I was behind the Sixers when 7 straight playoff collapses. I was cool with. I gave up on them to begin this year. That the final straw was starting 2-11 when most of their games haven't been that hard. Anyways, no, I'm not touched. I mean, the Sixers just got called out because Embiid's late to everything. Nick, it's just a total dumpster fire. I took Scottie Pippen Jr. over. So I got over 15.5 points plus assists. It's now 16.5 at that same price, -115. I don't get why this is priced so low, even with Desmond Bane back. Like he averages 17 points and 10 assists per 36. He won't play 36 minutes, but he'll play like 30, a little under 30. And that conversion rate is just him going way over this number. He's been awesome this year. He cashed this in a game against the Sixers in which John Morant did play. It's just this number is just too low against a dead Sixers team.
Dead is a beautiful word to describe him. I'm not laying. I mean, you could take that storyline and spin it whatever the hell way you want. You could say, I actually called out Embiid. They're going to show up. Or you could say, shit, the best players on this team are calling each other out. This team's a goddamn mess. I'm not laying points on the road. It would only be Memphis. Memphis just played a game last night. They're beat the hell up themselves. Again, I don't have a single NBA bet down. So, it would only be Memphis for me. Maybe money line. I don't know. Chris?
I hate my money, Kyle. So I bet.
No, you're not. Wait.
I already did it. I did it. I sent it out last night. I took the money line when they were laying 1.5. It was -120. I said, you know what? Why not?
So you're holding a Philadelphia 76ers money line ticket as a road favorite.
As a road favorite. Yep. I did it. Like I said, I hate my money. This to me feels like Prop Beaver betting on Will Levis.
I know how that's like.
Yeah. So
Prop Beaver goes,
I know what that's like.
I'll say this. I bet him the other day, but that was my first time I bet him. So I haven't bet Philly at all this whole season. They're 2-11 straight up, 3-12, 3-10 against the number. Outside of them, calling out Embiid, blah 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 blah. You got a pretty good spot for him here, and they had a pretty good spot last game. So fade me, do not put your hard-earned money. If you work hard for your money, don't put it on the Philadelphia 76ers. I just did that with mine. Zach Edey is out. There's potential for Maxey to come back and play in this game. There's Vince Williams Jr. Vince Williams limped off the floor yesterday. He won't be involved as well. Yeah, he's out. I saw him limp off the floor. I figured he wasn't going to play. And I think if you're Philly, which I've said this before, if you're Philly, eventually you're going to win a game. And why not let it be tonight? It's no stats, trends. Well, I do got a couple trends, but it's no stats. It's nothing other than I just want to be irresponsible with my money. So I put it on the Philadelphia 76ers. Please do not play Philly tonight. Let me stay on this island by myself so that when the ship crashes, I'm the only one that goes down. And it's okay. I'm okay with that. Looking at the trends real quick, I looked at a couple different things. Teams that's lost 10 of their last 12 games, and all of a sudden they pop up as an away favorite. They're 46-26 straight up. 48, 28, and 2 against the number. So they're covering about 60% of the time. And then the other one that was pretty telling to me, it's a lot of different ones you could find. But I looked at teams with a worse win percentage that are road favorites that have more rest. That's happened about 220 times, 118, 64 straight up, 65%, 178 against the number, 56%. Philly gets win number 3 tonight to move to 3-11. Let's go, Philly.
Correct me if I'm wrong. With the Grizzlies, since Morant got hurt, 6-1 against the number.
Yep. Yesterday was the first time they didn't cover. Tonight makes it number 2.
I don't know. To me, it looks like the market constantly undervaluing the Grizzlies. I don't know. I'm not betting on Philadelphia. Memphis surpassed. Next. Atlanta, Golden State. I don't like laying points at home with Golden State, but I also, for my own mental health and sanity, try to keep from betting the Atlanta Hawks whenever possible. Chris, do you have anything here?
Well, if you want to bet Atlanta, Kyle, you definitely don't want to be laying points with them. You know that. Historically, they're one of the worst teams in the world. So if you want them, you want to be grabbing points. And that was enough to kind of keep me off because I thought 8.5 was about right, which is where the market should have been. This is what it opened up at last night. Golden State is, back-to-back non-covers. I do think they take this game super serious. Do we know if Jalen Green is going to be in? He missed the other day, and I actually backed Atlanta in that spot without knowing that he wasn't going to play, plus the 4.5 against Sacramento, and got an outright
I'm
win.
assuming you meant Jalen Johnson.
Jalen Johnson, yes.
He's questionable.
He's still – I can't play the game without him. He means that much, in my opinion. You do get third game in 4 nights, third game of a 4-game road trip for Atlanta. Should be a letdown spot. Should be a bounce back spot for the Warriors. I did find a couple really strong trends, but I feel like the number's getting too big for Golden State right now. Back-to-back, like I said, non-covers. They actually lost outright to the Clippers. Atlanta defensively is not as good, especially if Jalen Johnson doesn't play. But I think the market is about right. 8.5 seems about right, in my opinion. So I stayed off of this one.
Yeah. What about an under? You can't take an under in a Hawks game, although I just cashed the under in the Hawks Kings the other day, though.
That was the Kings, though. They didn't have DeRozan. They didn't have Malik Monk. They didn't have Sabonis.
Real quick, let me look at something. I want to see the pace for these two teams.
What you got, Moda?
Well, first of all, I have an Eagles poster right behind me that everybody can see. So I don't know what Kyle's talking about. I'm not repping
We're
Philly
still on
anymore.
that. Oh,
well,
okay.
it didn't even occur to me that it was directly behind my head for everybody to see.
I don't know. I didn't see it. What do you like here, Matt?
Yeah, Clint Capella over 8.5 rebounds. You can get that at plus 105. Currently, that's at DraftKings. Quietly, the Warriors have given up the most rebounds to centers of all teams per game in the NBA. The reason why I say quietly is because you don't think of them as a team where you want to target center rebound props because you think of them as like this high-flying jump shooting team. But they take, I forgot to write down the exact number, but like they're top 7 in terms of field goal attempts within 5 feet of the basket. That just leads to rebounds to centers. Again, 30th in terms of rebounds allowed to centers. They're obviously the best matchup for center rebound props as well. And you go through their game log, you see a ton of production from rebounds from the centers. Last game, Zubac, 17 rebounds. His over-under was 12.5. Last game against the Grizzlies, Zach Edey, 9 rebounds. His over-under was 5.5. Derek Lively cashed his over rebounds prop. He had 8 over-under 7.5. Jared Allen had 12 over-under 11.5. And Capella, after a slow start, has been really good on the boards recently. He went over this number in only 2 of his first 9 games. Since then, he's done it in 5 of 6. So if you're like a full season hit rate person, it would not look that impressive, but recently it has been. And there's nothing fluky about that rebound production either. 10.8 rebounds in the last 6 games, but 7.7 rebound chances per game, which is like a completely normal, non-outlier rebound chance to actual rebound number, especially for a center. I get that this isn't perfect, so take it with a grain of salt, but last year against the Warriors in 2 games, 11 and 15 rebounds. The year before that, in 2 games against the Warriors, also went over 9 rebounds and actually got to double digits in all 4 games as well. So again, this would be a good play or a good spot to take him double-double, take him 10 plus. Again, I just need to see one go through the hoop. So as long as I can see that plus sign over 8.5, I'm taking it. But 10 plus would be solid too.
He just wants to see one go through the hoop, guys. Get that under off, though. I didn't realize how fast of pace that Golden State's been playing recently.
Get that under off.
Yeah, a fast-paced team against the Hawks. There may be 270 points scored in the game. Next. Are the Knicks back?
If they played the Warriors or the Wizards every night, they're back.
We beat Brooklyn twice in a row.
Oh, yeah, they're really good.
They're better than the Sixers.
That's not. Are the Sixers playing tonight? I mean,
They are.
Boom!
I meant, are they playing the Sixers tonight?
No, they're playing the Suns.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Knicks, right? What are we doing here? Suns don't look that good. I don't know. I didn't bet the game. I still think the Knicks are a little overvalued. That being said, they're starting to get their shit together a little bit. Towns looks great. The Suns, I said Suns are passing the last Suns game. They were catching 6 against Orlando at home. Obviously, no Durant. Bradley Beal's out as well. Nurkic is banged up, even though I think he's playing. And I still thought Suns +6 was the look. They ended up losing by 10. Orlando on the road. I mean, that's not really a threatening situation there. Catching 6 points at home to Orlando on the road should be a profitable spot, and they couldn't even cover that. I would say Knicks are pass here. Like I said, I don't have a single NBA bet open tonight.
Yeah, I agree with you, Kyle. I really want to take Phoenix, but I'm not going to. As you mentioned, the one standout point for Phoenix is that, and you don't see this too often, because that was a 5th game in 7 nights the other day when they were coming home, and it was the second leg of a back-to-back, of course, when they lost to Orlando as well. So this is 6th game in 9 nights. Not the greatest spot. After this game, Kyle, they don't play again until next Tuesday. That's they can go on vacation. Like, you can leave everything on the floor, but at the same time, like, I would need a few more points. Like, I think the way the Knicks been playing, and I don't really want to lay with the Knicks. They've covered 3 of their 6 spreads so far this season. I think it's Knicks with the super short line. I didn't bet it, but that's the way that I would look as well. I'm with you.
And Knicks have 2 full days off after this as well, so it's not like the Knicks are on the first leg of a back-to-back or anything. The Knicks also have some considerable time off after this. Booker 30+. Oh, you're downing the Knicks defense.
Yeah, I didn't bet. To be clear, I didn't bet this. It didn't make my official plays, but I think it's a good look. I mean, Booker's coming off of a horrible game last game against the Magic, but he put up 40 the game prior to that. And the Knicks defense, like they're still kind of lost with Karl-Anthony Towns at center. Like, he's horrible at guarding space. He's horrible at guarding the pick and roll. He does a super deep drop, which is why the Knicks have given up the 3rd most points per game to pick and roll ball handlers. That's where Booker scores the majority of his points. Overall, just looking at the guard position, the Knicks have allowed the 2nd most points per game to guards, and they allow the 4th most pull-up 3-point attempts in the NBA over the last 10 games. And they're tied with allowing the highest frequency of shots against them be pull-up 3-pointers. Booker, admittedly, like, he hasn't been scoring a ton this year, and even with their guys out, he's only gone over this once. But that was a 40-point performance against the Timberwolves. Kind of a similar style of defense, just the Timberwolves are way better at defense. So I think, like, we could see a similar ceiling game tonight. I didn't bet it because it's just their plays I like better, but I thought it was a good look.
Next. Speaking of Orlando, Magic on the road against the Clips. This line feels a little off to me, but it's most likely because Norman Powell is not going to play for the Clippers. You trust the Clippers to give you enough offense to cover this number. You certainly trust the Clippers defense at home. You certainly trust the Clippers defense against a Magic offense that you can fade on the road and get on board with all of that. But with no Powell, can the Clippers score enough to keep up? That would be my thought here. Totals at 204.5. Oh.
Talk about 90s basketball.
Yeah, for real. What an ugly one. Well, I mean, it could be a cool defensive game. I don't mean ugly basketball, but I mean an ugly one in terms of betting. Give me like a Clippers +6 and I'm in. But
yeah, for that reason, Kyle, I bet because you mentioned like not wanting to lay too many points for Orlando. I overthought it the other day. I should have just faded them. They were 2 days rested versus a Phoenix team on the 2nd leg of a back-to-back 5th game in 7 nights, one of the worst spots you could be, and I didn't play them. But as soon as I saw the Norman Powell news last night, you better believe I jumped on Orlando. I played the money line last night.
What was it at? What was it at?
The money line? -120. I think I got it on BetMGM or Bet365. So I just wanted to get ahead of it because I looked into it. You mentioned Norman Powell, right? Like, this Clippers offense is not that great, Kyle. Like, I know you were talking about them hitting them threes during that course, but they have regressed a little bit as well. They've been winning with their defense. With Norman Powell on the floor, 114.4 points scored per 100 possessions. With him off the floor, 101.6. So I don't think that you're going to be able to replace that offensive efficiency that he gives you, the 3-point shooting. You got an Orlando team, Kyle, that's number 1 over the last 6 games. They've won 6 straight. They've covered 6 straight. 6 straight games have gone under. They've given up less than 95 points in every single game. And now you're telling me no Norman Powell? I think they can get the job done. The Lakers get them out the way tomorrow and in their losing streak, because this is the first leg of a back-to-back. But yeah, I'm taking Orlando on the road with no Norman Powell. Number 1 in points scored allowed per 100 possessions last 5 games. Number 2 in opponent effective field goal percentage. Number 4 in forcing turnovers. Clippers actually turning the ball over at the 9th highest rate over the last 5 games. They aren't giving up offensive rebounds. 6th in that department as well. Number 1 net rated team as well. I think without Norman Powell, like I would have stayed off it without Norman Powell, but I'm just having trouble figuring out how they're gonna score the basketball. So I'll take the ugly defensive game. I also played the under. That was the first play I played, was the under at 207, 207 and a half. And then I jumped in on Orlando as well. So this was actually the only other money line spread that I bet outside of Philly today.
I mean, Norman Powell got hurt in the Golden State game, right?
Nah, he got hurt in the yeah. It was Golden State, yeah.
So when he got hurt, the score was 72-72. The Clippers still won that game. Outplayed him in the fourth. I don't know. I would be on the other side, I think. The Clippers at home, they play good defense. This Orlando team, you can fade them on the road.
Clippers lost against Portland at home, yeah?
Portland's feisty.
Oh, now Portland's
Now they're feisty.
Oh, when you need to make your point, then Portland's feisty. I'm not betting. Bodai, what do you think?
I didn't bet mine either, but I liked James Harden over 22.5 points. It's just a play on volume. Like his usage rate's 39% without Norman Powell. It's just absurd. Like, yeah, we're not getting prime Harden when he's dropping 35 points a game, but he's taking the 7th most pull-up three-point attempts in the NBA. 39% of his shots are pull-up threes. The Magic are tied with the Knicks in terms of the highest frequency of shots against them are pull-up threes. They're towards the bottom in terms of like actual made shots against them, because teams are only shooting 29%, which does have something to do with the fact that they do have good guard defenders. But this is just a play on volume. Like there's nobody else to take shots on the Clippers. The Magic do a really good job guarding the interior, so I don't think it's going to be an assist game or a Zubac game. So I'll take a very efficient over 22.5 points for Harden. But again, I didn't bet it, so I guess I won't take it.
I'll take not just an over 22.5, a very efficient over 22.
I said inefficient.
A very inefficient.
Yeah, Jalen Suggs putting him in jail tonight.
In jail?
Yeah, be in jail.
All right, let's talk some college football. Chris, those are both of their Twitter names underneath their faces. They both have their own YouTube channels where they upload daily content. Appreciate you guys taking the time to come on. Talk to you guys tomorrow. College football got some action.
Appreciate you, Kyle. Best of luck tonight, fellas.
Yeah, talk to you guys later.
See you guys. Thank you.
All right, we're on to some action. This is tough. If it wasn't for weather, I would have 2 bets I really like, one in each game. If it wasn't for the weather, I would be pretty confident in both of these bets. But you add the weather in, and the way it could potentially, not so much rain, wind. We're talking 20, 22 mile an hour winds here. And the way it could affect the passing attack, it makes it really tough to put any faith in it. If you need a team to be completing passes of 10, 15 plus yards in this wind, I don't know if you can count on it being there. So, for example, this first one, I wanted to go over the total. I said last night over 44.5. It's up to 46.5 now. It's actually 40. I think I see 47s. I was seeing 47s before.
The weather looks like it's getting a little bit better.
It's coming back down.
It looks like the wind's gonna be about 10 to 11 miles per hour.
Dude, that's not bad. Why didn't I just?
The rain is down a little bit. That just changed though, because it was early this morning. It looked like it was still gonna be bad. So I hate
the freaking weather, man.
Weather.
If I just said fuck the weather, if I just said screw the weather, last night and bet the over 44.5, I'd be holding a couple points of value. I guess if the wind's not bad, I think Toledo can throw the ball on Ohio. But the thing is, Ohio's going to run the ball, and I don't know if Toledo can stop it. I guess it's over 46. I really don't know, guys. I'm a little frustrated at Western Michigan last night as well. I don't know how that offense didn't do anything against Central Michigan. It doesn't even make logical sense. So I think this one goes over. The weather question mark, and I don't have a bet on the game, unfortunately. I know Scoop really likes Ohio. He typed it in all caps in the Discord.
I just feel like Ohio has to be typed in all caps at all times, right?
Why, you like the state, or you like the Bobcats in particular? Are you just fond of Ohio?
I don't know. I Skibbity Ohio. That's what my daughters say. I don't know what that means exactly.
Me neither.
Yeah. Don't. It's Gen Alpha bullshit. Yeah. So with the weather, yeah. I mean, it's still gonna be windy and gusty. So I mean, I love the Ohio team. They've been solid all year long, except the one MAC game against Miami, Ohio. But Miami's been beating up on everyone. I think they're going to personally win this conference again. But the one team that's going to be affected most by weather on these 4 games we're going to go over is Toledo. Tucker Gleason's probably the best quarterback right now in the MAC. And his offense goes as he goes. It's the best. He's the best. It's the best passing team in the MAC. So I hope this weather just wreaks havoc on Toledo personally. They don't really run the ball at all. And even if they have to this game, Ohio has the best rushing defense in the MAC. So that would play right into what they're going for. And not only is Ohio the best in the MAC on a run defense, it's 18th nationally. So like I said last week, Tyus and Navarro will have a solid game again, even against Toledo has a tough rushing defense too. But listen, Ohio's on a roll right now, 123-26 the last 3 games. They only give up 15 points in the MAC this year. I think this team controls the time of possession with their run game. I haven't seen them stop all year, except that Miami game. But really, if the weather is a factor, it's going to be a harder game for Toledo here. Toledo still gives up 7 more points a game defensively. And with a run-first kind of game, if it comes to that, I'm going to go with Ohio. I think this game does go under, too, just because of how it's going to be. But this is it's too tough. I can't talk today, if you haven't noticed. It's 2 tough defenses too, so I just think this is going to be an under game, and I think Ohio pulls it out.
Yeah, see, people in the comments are saying Parker Navarro's the man. Someone called him godlike in the comments. It's like,
I agree with him.
Has the market gone a bit far? This is a quarterback that was benched not a month ago. He was benched. Yes, since he got his starting job back, the Ohio offense has looked extremely fluent. The last 3 games, they're averaging 41 points per game. The Bobcats offense looks great. Granted, they played 3 lesser defenses. But no question, since he got his starting job back, the whole offense looks better. But let's just completely erase the first half of the season where he was really struggling and literally got benched. So I don't know. If there's no wind, I kind of am taking Toledo team total over. But Ohio's going to run the ball, and I think they're able to. So I'm, again, not betting this game. R-Truth?
I'm also not betting it. I would lean Ohio. I think that they're going to be able to run all over them, like he said. I mean, it's pretty much basically what he said exactly. If weather's a factor, obviously that helps Ohio a ton. They have Ricky Hunt. They have Tyus. Those are 2 of the better running backs in this conference. So, yeah, I don't expect that'll be an issue. Plus, like you said, Navarro can run as well. So, yeah, I think it just sets up better for him. I don't think weather will be as big of a concern looking at it. Which I guess helps Toledo, but I'd still lean Ohio here. I think Ohio's honestly the better team. I know Toledo's defense looks better. The numbers look better, but I like this Ohio team. So I'd be on Ohio. But again, this is the one I would definitely not bet.
All right, next game. People are talking about Steelers-Browns tomorrow night. Just so you know, Mike Tomlin has never won a road division Thursday night football game 0-5. In fact, the Steelers have never won a road Thursday night football game 0-7.
What's the spread on that right
against a division?
It's down to 3.5, I think. Maybe even 3. It's dropping. I got Cleveland plus 4.5. All right. Next up, Buffalo, Eastern Michigan, and another one. Andy, can you give me an updated weather report here, please?
I'm looking at the weather now.
Yes, meteorologist, Andy.
The 31% rain at 8, and then it goes down. So it doesn't look like rain will be a factor. 13 or 14 mile per hour winds. That's pretty windy.
It's not as bad as it was last night, though. I was seeing 22, 23. So I know everyone's going to hammer Buffalo here based on the fact that they've looked better. I mean, offensively, they've turned over a completely new leaf. In the last 5 games, the offense just looks night and day difference. They've been able to run the ball sparingly throughout the whole season, and that really hasn't changed. What's changed is in the last 5 games, their quarterback, Agbana, he's been connecting on some big plays. I took the over in that Ball State game last week, watched every snap of that, and every time I looked up, it was Agbana airing it out again, and he connected on a lot of them. And that's not just a 1-game sample size. He's been throwing the deep ball more and more. Almost 18% of his pass attempts, it's 17.9%, I believe, are deep passes. This kid airs it out, and he's experienced. He's a senior. I didn't know who he was before this year. He's earned my respect. So him throwing the deep ball, Buffalo can run the ball a little bit. I understand why everyone's taking Buffalo here. There's one aspect of this game that worries me. For Buffalo, though, they're on the road against an Eastern Michigan offense that can throw the ball. Cole Snyder is more than capable of making throws and getting the ball down the field and scoring. Buffalo's defense against the pass has been terrible. They're allowing, I think it's 308 passing yards per game in their last 4. This is not a good pass defense. Well, it's not a good defense, period. But specifically, they struggle against the pass. They've been getting cooked through the air religiously. In that Ball State game, they went off offensively. Game went to overtime. The final score was 51-48. So on the road here at Eastern Michigan against a quarterback we know is capable of throwing the ball, I don't know how we rely on Buffalo to make stops. But this is where it gets interesting because now there's weather thrown into it. So you think, okay, weather affects the passing game more so than the run game, especially, weather, wind affects the passing game more so than the run game, right? Windy, ball can't travel. So you would think that hurts Eastern Michigan, an offense that's more apt to throwing the ball, an offense that throws the ball more frequently. But the fact that Agbana's passes have been deep balls, and a huge part of this recent Buffalo offensive success has been connecting on those big plays. I don't know who the wind affects more. I think it's a sharp spot to buy back in on Eastern Michigan. You could put that up. Buffalo's won, 2 or 3 games in a row. Eastern Michigan's lost like 4 in a row at home. Everyone's going to be taking Buffalo here. I think Cole Snyder can have a big game throwing the ball. The reason I haven't placed it, the weather. I don't know what to make of the weather. Also, the total kind of makes me think the weather's shittier than the report indicates, because personally, I think this game should be 38-37. I think it should be shootout. But the fact that it's all the way down at 52.5, I think the final. I think this game should look similarly to what we saw the Ball State Buffalo game look like last week, which was 51-48. I think this should be classic max shootout. But this total at 52.5 has me thinking maybe the weather's fucked. I don't know. Eastern Michigan over. I don't know. The weather's got me scared to place a bet, honestly.
This one's interesting because I wanted to take over as well. Weather does definitely mess with that because every single over in Buffalo game, every Buffalo game is at the over since week 4.
Yeah, and tell me if the weather's fine. This total isn't 60.5.
Yeah, but the interesting about a lot of those numbers is they're all in the 40s except for last week where it was 54.5, and that over still easily went by. There was what was the final score there?
51-48 was the final.
Yeah. So that over hit pretty easily, and I think this one would too if it weren't for weather. I would lean Buffalo just because I don't trust this Eastern Michigan team at all. I've said it. I think Eastern Michigan's a bad team. They get juiced up by their schedule a lot. They've consistently played the worst schedule. Now, Buffalo is kind of guilty of that as well. Their schedule, once it picked up, once it went the opposite direction, once they started playing only MAC schools, they started beating teams and their offense started moving. I mean, they're non-conference. They played UMass. They did play Missouri, but they played Connecticut and Lafayette as well. Like, it's not like they played anybody, but Eastern Michigan, we talked about it. They beat St. Francis, PA. They beat Kent State, lost to Washington, Jacksonville State. Like, they were playing nobody, and they're still playing nobody, and they're not winning. I mean, they lost 35-10 last week to Ohio. Ohio's a good team, but Buffalo's just as good. So I as long as weather and being on the road doesn't play that big of an impact, which I don't think it will, I think Buffalo should win this one comfortably. They're playing, Agbana's playing out of his mind this year, and I didn't expect that at all. We were very low on this Buffalo team. I think everybody was. This team's this would be their 8th win if they win tonight, which is insane. So, I'm going to be on Buffalo comfortably here.
Someone said, don't be scared, Sauce. It's not... The YouTube channel makes me a little more hesitant. I used to be like, screw it, yeah, but now if I place a bet, thousands of people are following it, so I'm a little less free with the trigger finger, if you follow what I'm saying. Scoop.
Yeah,
also, let's be real. He'll just throw shit for no reason and not tell us. I mean, why not? I'm gonna go with Buffalo here. And really, there's only one reason to back Buffalo, and that's the offense, obviously, because their defense can't stop anything. Eastern Michigan's capable of putting up points, too. I don't think as much as Buffalo. Like I said, like you guys said both. I think this is going to be a shootout personally. So 52.5 seems easy to do, but just the recent numbers is why I'm going with Buffalo. Eastern Michigan lost their last 4 or 5, and I know for the most part they were against tougher teams. They played Miami, Ohio, Toledo. They're all in the top 5 in the MAC. So is Buffalo now. I think they're actually fourth, which is crazy. But they did lose to Akron away and barely squeaked out a win against a bad Central Michigan team. So I just don't think Eastern Michigan's going to stop Buffalo. They give up 6.3 yards on average overall, almost 5 yards a rush. So LJ Henderson should have a big game running the ball here. And Agmana, like you said, has been connecting on some solid passes, and he's able to scramble too for some first downs. So with this game, we got the, like you said, the windy Mac. It's going to feel like below freezing when this game kicks off. I think the gusts are still like 25 miles an hour. So, and if it comes down to it, I do like, Buffalo running the ball. They've been a lot better lately. They're going to control the clock. So I'm trusting the offense. Buffalo doesn't normally turn the ball over. They've actually been great in that aspect, except for that Ball State game where they had 3 turnovers. They still ended up winning the game in overtime. Eastern Michigan's offense just isn't consistent. They just had 4 turnovers against Ohio. Normally, like I said, this total would be higher. I think this should be like 60 points, but the win aspect's not going to help the passing game at all. Eastern Michigan's been covering a lot this year too. They're 7-3 against the spread, but the way each teams are playing, I slightly lean Buffalo just because I think they're gonna kind of out offense the other team.
I kind of want to bet this now because I think you guys are wrong, and I kind of want to be invested in you guys being wrong.
Okay, I didn't bet it, so that's fine if you want to bet it.
That's lovely.
I did bet the other game. So.
I honestly wish that I had kept track of every single pick I made for the MAC because I've been oddly good again at MAC, and I'll be honest, these games suck to me. Like, I've watched them, but I hate the MAC. I'm not a MACtion guy, but for some reason I've picked well. Like last night, I think it was 2-1. I hate MAC football, so I'll just be honest. You go against me. If you want somebody who loves MAC football and's really into it, go with them. I hate MAC football. So.
Well, tomorrow night's games are sick. The NFL game is fucking cool, and the NC State Georgia Tech's a good ass game. I got bets on both of those, so tomorrow's cool. Tonight,
good basketball game, college basketball games too.
College basketball.
What's the game on tonight for college basketball?
Alabama, Illinois.
What do you got?
I lean Illinois. I know. I think Toast does too. He's just scared to pull the trigger.
I have Alabama. I didn't post it, but I think Alabama's gonna smoke them tonight.
All right, let's do a community parlay. Hit the song.
Community parlay, the parlay we bet, yeah. Community parlay is for the community. We community, making a parlay. Yeah.
All right, you ready for the poll?
Yeah.
All right. So first up, we shouldn't even put Cavs money line in it, dude. They're 14. All right, put it Cavs money line.
No, we shouldn't.
14 and a half point
it actually
favorite.
won't even add anything to the odds. So just
all right. Bucks money line. No, they voted for the Bulls. They voted for the Bulls in that. That's Bulls money line. Thunder money. They voted for the Blazers too, dude.
okay. Well, thank God, honestly, because
Blazers money line. They voted for the Rockets, so there's a favorite.
There we go.
Sixers. Did they vote for the Sixers? Are you guys freaks? Did you guys? Who remembers in the comments? Did you guys vote for the Sixers?
For the city, on for
Joel
the
Embiid
city.
is a big loser.
These guys are incentivized more to just miss.
Yeah. We all say different things. Well, how would that even make sense?
You think Buffalo or EMU or the sportsbook are paying us to say this shit?
But we said different sides, so it wouldn't even make sense.
We're all on different sides of these games, and they don't care. What?
Yeah.
Sick.
Can someone tell me in the comments?
I bought some nice Lulus with that sportsbook money, so silly y'all. Anyways, let's just say it's Memphis. I mean, who in their right mind is putting money on the Philadelphia 76ers?
All right, fine. Put Memphis.
I'm gonna do it just because you said that.
My favorite thing about every live video is when someone makes a point, all of a sudden you hear in the ear, that's Beaver just makes me laugh.
That's why in the office, that's kind of an inside joke. When someone says something you don't give a fuck about, or like it's basically like just telling them to It's basically telling them to shut up. All right, who won that first poll? Rockets. I like the other side of that. I didn't bet it though, so I can't argue with the community.
Rockets are good as hell this year, man. They're fun to watch.
Yeah, got off to a slow start. Seemed to be getting it together. Warriors, Knicks, Magic are the next 3. Just run it with those 3.
Beamer ball. game go? Who do they play? I didn't even look. Who do they play this week?
The Cox?
Yeah, who do the Cox play this week?
They don't play
For them?
I haven't looked at
Oh, they play Wofford. Never mind.
They play Mercer, right?
Someone
I
says, why y'all entertain the comments? Just tell you who y'all like and keep it moving. Dude, we're doing a community parlay. We're just chilling.
We're
they play
building an
Mercy.
engaging community and a family, more so.
We're a family.
Yeah. The homie with a big feet is like a brother to me.
Dude, he turned on you.
Well, no, but then he turned back. It's like, you know,
That's
you
right.
know,
He typed out
family.
an apology.
Family fights.
That apology was crazy. It was like he was issuing a press release. It was like 3 paragraphs long.
You know,
At this
family.
point, that's the way I want him to speak.
You
I
know,
want
fam.
press releases only.
Did everyone see that? The homie with the big feet typed out like a paragraph. Like you had to hit see more, and there was still 2 more paragraphs apologizing to Prop Beaver for downing his Will Disley prop.
Yeah. I mean, special.
I think Will
he's a
Disley had,
special
like,
guy.
I think Disley had like 3 passes that were like
He did.
over.
Yeah, he the
Special play,
shit cast
special
3
guy.
different times. All right, so Rockets money line, Warriors money line. The 2 second place. So this is what we'll do: 2 second place finishers, which are Bulls and Knicks, and then put the 2 college football picks in there, which are they voted for. Wow, 1 second. They voted for Ohio money line, and they voted for Buffalo. Ohio and Buffalo. Someone said y'all should have guest appearance from people in the community. We have. Well, some of the people you see on here are from the community. How do you think Toast got this job, dude? He's from the comments. That's where I found him. He's from the comments.
Yep. That's why we can't bring too many other guests on. I mean, for the love of God, we got Toast, and
Yeah. What about Mr. Weskers, bro?
that's one freak too much. I mean, Toast is funny. No, I mean, Mr. Weskers is funny, is what I meant to say.
Mr. Weskers. No, I'm done with Mr. Weskers. He disrespected the guests. I don't like that shit.
Mr. Weskers.
One of the best we've got.
Mr. Weskers, you're on probation.
Disrespecting the guests, that's a reflection of me. Yo, first and second place of this poll is going to be in there.
Okay.
It's Knicks money line and Ohio money line.
419.
All right, so the community parlay: Rockets money line, Warriors money line, Knicks money line, Ohio Bobcats money line plus 419.
Where'd you get the odds?
Scoop, rattle them off. Scoop's on it.
Guys, quick with it. Damn.
Someone said, yeah, screw Weskers. He blocked me.
Being blocked by Weskers has got it.
All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. As always, tomorrow will be a more fun one. I already have 2 bets open, one on each of the football games. Actually, that's probably it. I'm not really diving into NBA for another couple weeks. I don't know what's wrong. I'm having trouble getting into the NBA. Not because like losing or anything. I think I'm 3-2 my last 5 bets. The bets it's whatever. I'm looking at the slate, and as I'm going through it, I'm like, that feels like a guess. That feels like a guess. And I don't like when it feels like I'm guessing. I like to at least believe that I have some sort of edge. Whether or not I do or not is up for debate, but I like to at least feel like I do. And right now when I'm going through these NBA slates, it just all feels like guesses. So when college football slows down after Thanksgiving weekend, I have time my spreadsheets need to be updated from last year too, and I'll have more data available to me on a day-to-day basis, and we'll really get into the NBA. But as of right now, I'm kind of just treading water, having guests on, listening to their takes as far as the NBA.
Whoever wins the league every week, that Tuesday, he's on the show. That's the.
Yes, I mean that
it's
could
just
be
Tinker basically. Tinker will be here.
You'd be surprised though, because there's been times I've asked in the Discord who wants to come on the show, and you would think no one wants to.
We did bring that one guy on the show, Ron, and his microphone.
Yes, mic didn't work.
My
That
Lord.
guy's also crazy though.
He's unhinged. So
all right,
yeah, we try.
Everyone, thanks for watching. See you all tomorrow, same time. We'll be live at midnight for college basketball for those of you who want to join. Tomorrow's college basketball is good. We're having a midnight stream with Toast and Andy. We're going to go through some of the games midnight Eastern time tonight. Someone said community tournament. We do that every week. That's what the league is. We have a betting league. We do that every week.